Dr. Lieberman, the most recent Epstein document dump has portrayed Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, and her ex-husband Andrew Mountbatten Windsor as filthy, self-centered, and as a couple who were aware of Epstein's. Here is what we currently know about Sarah Ferguson's whereabouts and future plans. According to reports, the former Duchess of York has left the nation, traveling to the United Arab Emirates after first spending time in the French Alps. All of this follows the most recent disclosure of U.S. court records pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein, which included Fergie emails that have sparked examination of her prior affiliations. She has reportedly been keeping a low profile, gathering her thoughts and secretly planning what friends refer to as a return to public life, and based on their growing relationship, it seems she plans to do it without Andrew this time, a significant portion of the correspondence. According to what we've read, he was found guilty of some very serious and unsightly charges. Indeed, there is a lot going on, so let's take our time going through this. The U.S. Department of Justice published an additional 3 million pages of information related to the Epstein case at the end of last month. Research that comprised 180,000 photos and 2,000 videos, emails involving Sarah Ferguson and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor were included in that release. In the larger document release, Andrew, who has continuously denied wrongdoing, was mentioned several times. Later, Thames Valley Police verified. They are evaluating claims that he might have given Epstein access to private documents from his tenure as the UK's trade envoy. According to Buckingham Palace, the King is extremely worried and is prepared to assist law enforcement if called upon. But Fergie is the subject of our attention today. Among the emails made public were ones in which she called Epstein dependable, giving, and the best friend. She allegedly referred to him as a legend during one conversation. Although Epstein was a very enigmatic man who clearly committed many wrongdoings, he possessed a certain magic that allowed him to draw in and retain wealthy, powerful, and royal people. She was joking in another email about getting married to him. Additionally, there were hints that she kept in touch with him after he was released from prison and that she and her daughters had lunch with him 5 days later. It is important to note that Sarah Ferguson has not been officially charged with any criminal offences. That difference has been underlined time and time again by people close to her. However, the optics have been extremely harmful, especially considering the timing of these new document releases. She appears to have disappeared after all of this. The Daily Mail and other publications claim that Fergie departed the UK and stayed with friends in the French Alps for a few days. Her next destination was the United Arab Emirates. According to sources, she has been splitting her time between introspection and sober discussions about her future. These are the most recent reports that have been received. Despite early claims that she was effectively smuggled out of Royal Lodge at night while taking several safety measures to avoid being photographed, Sarah Ferguson is 66. She no longer resides at Windsor's Royal Lodge, where she and Andrew had lived for many years following their divorce. That arrangement, which she previously infamously referred to as making them the world's happiest divorced couple, has essentially come to an end. Now, Andrew lives in Norfolk at the Sandringham estate. Fergie won't be going with him. Fergie openly supported Andrew for decades. She said he was he is a wonderful man and a wonderful father, and he keeps his friends in some sort of possession. He didn't want them to violate his confidence, you know. He would always get something on each of them, he said. Now, I feel sorry for Andrew. She supported him during the aftermath of his interview on BBC News Night in 2019 and the ensuing US civil settlement. In general, she remained loyal to him, but she cautiously refrained from addressing specific accusations. However, friends cited in recent reports claim that she has now privately stated, "I will have to impose some separation between Andrew and myself. That's a big change." She reportedly wants to stay in the Windsor area rather than Norfolk. According to sources, she is thinking about either purchasing or leasing her own home there. The notion of Fergie being self-sufficient. She may be positioning herself differently now that she is without Andrew and the shield of a sizable royal home. The financial reality is another. In private conversations, friends claim she has been open and honest, saying, "I need to get back to work. I'm in need of cash." That is not a casual comment. According to emails made public in the Epstein files, she had previously asked him for financial support on several occasions, including debt repayment assistance. She apologized to him in one message for publicly separating herself from him. allegedly claiming that she had taken this action to safeguard her children's book writing career. I uploaded a video a few days ago claiming that Fergie owed her personal assistant more than £100,000 and that she was pleading with Epstein to forgive her because she was unable to pay. This is not a depiction of someone who is responsible or financially stable. Fergie has earned money over the years from speaking engagements, book deals, and TV appearances. The Budgie the Little Helicopter series and more recent historical fiction are among her many children's books. Regarding Fergie, correspondence between her and Epstein seems to indicate that she might have harbored feelings for him, or some have even proposed that she was in love with the convicted paedophile and disgraced Nancher. Not to be overlooked is Alan Howe's excellent article in the Australian newspaper Today. She has made appearances on The Oprah Winfrey Show and other American television shows. Has experience speaking in public and serving as a brand ambassador. However, the public's goodwill is necessary for those opportunities, and that goodwill has vanished as of right now. I don't know whether Sarah is just deluded or desperate, one source said bluntly. She is 66 years old, homeless, and has no source of income. The public finds what they have read repulsive, and they wonder how she would afford to hire a new public relations firm to repair her reputation. This leads us to the question of PR. According to reports, instead of apologizing in public or hosting a press conference, she has been surreptitiously scouting for a fresh public relations team. Those with knowledge of the talks say the goal is to oversee a planned transition back into the UK media environment. This would probably entail well-selected interviews, perhaps a sympathetic TV appearance, and an effort to bring her writing and charitable endeavours back into the spotlight. Fergie's ability to reinvent herself has always been evident. She used American media to re-establish her public image following the 1992 toe-sucking incident and the ensuing financial disputes. Following the 2010 News of the World sting operation, where she was seen on camera granting Andrew access in exchange for money, she reappeared, expressed regret, and progressively resumed public appearances. She always relied on openness, charm, and a certain kind of self-deprecating humor. It's a completely different matter whether that tactic would be effective today. I personally would hate to see such a thing come to light, and I have serious doubts. Her daughters have also found themselves in an awkward spotlight while she has been overseas. References to Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie having lunch with Epstein soon after his release from prison led to their inclusion in the document release. Although neither of them has been charged with any wrongdoing, their names. Their mother has obviously been distressed by being drawn into the story. During her attendance at Art Basel in Doha as a director of the art gallery Hauer and Wirth, Eugenie's friend Caroline Dorr showed support by putting an arm around her while they posed for pictures. Additionally, he claims that there were early warning indicators regarding Sarah Ferguson. She has been the subject of troubling behavior reports since 1986, when she initially became a member of the royal family. What are your thoughts on that, Carol? Many people saw the picture, which was later posted on Instagram, as a sign of solidarity. According to sources, Sarah is extremely worried about how it will affect her daughters. Additionally, Beatrice and Eugene's names have allegedly been subtly removed from some charity and red carpet guest lists. According to reports, the king has persisted in inviting them to family gatherings, but the larger social and the charity circuit might be more circumspect. According to those close to Ferg, her primary role has always been that of a dedicated mother. She continued to be close to her daughters and was regularly present at royal family events, even after she and Andrew got divorced in 1996. Eugenie was escorted down the aisle by her 2018 wedding with Andrew at St. George's Chapel. She was the main attraction at Beatrix's wedding to Edoardo Mapelli Mosey in 2020. Therefore, how she handles her comeback may be influenced if she feels that her own actions have damaged her daughters' reputations. At least we could hope that would influence her choice. It's difficult to say for sure, though, given her past. Housing adds another layer to all of this, as some tabloids have claimed being expelled from Royal Lodge was not a dramatic formal eviction. However, the truth is that she no longer possesses that Windsor base. Andre's long-term home under a lease with the Crown Estate had been Royal Lodge, a sprawling 30-room mansion in Windsor Great Park. There has been much coverage of Andrew's relocation to Sandringham, more especially to Wood Farm on the Norfolk estate. Jude of Edinburgh lived in a modest 5-bedroom home called Wood Farm. Often after leaving the public eye, it is a far cry from Royal Lodge's size and splendor, but Fergie won't be going there with him. Although she remains geographically close to her daughters and the center of royal life, she reportedly wants her own home that is still accessible from Windsor. Symbolically distinct from Andrew, and the secret to her next chapter might lie in that symbolism. Yes, indeed. Well, this is the most recent revelation from the Epstein archives. There's so much coming out, really. The number of pages is in the thousands. However, it has been revealed that she proposed to Jeffrey Epstein at least twice. Indeed, it happened after he was found guilty of using girls for the first time, and she was obviously unconcerned about that. She has been both inside and outside the royal fold for many years. After her divorce, she lost her HRH status, but she continued to be present on a regular basis. She did not attend the actual coronation ceremony at Westminster Abbey, but she did attend significant events such as Prince Philip's funeral and King Charles' coronation. She's travelled a delicate distinction between an independent figure and a royal insider. She might be attempting to completely redraw that line now. According to her friends, she thinks she can recover in typical Fergie fashion. More than once that phrase has been used. It alludes to a return to the friendliness and approachability that initially brought her fame. When she was seen playing with kids and laughing with crowds at public events in the late 1980s. However, we live in a different time. There is less tolerance in the public psyche, the scrutiny is more acute, everything is amplified by social media. However, Fergie has previously taken critics by surprise. She has also had significant health issues in recent years, such as being diagnosed with breast cancer in 2023 and undergoing melanoma treatment. She encouraged women to go to screenings and talked candidly about early detection during that time. Those messages evoked a wave of sympathy and were widely praised. If she decides to concentrate on charitable work, children's literacy and health advocacy, that could serve as the foundation for her attempted comeback. She is currently overseas, reportedly alternating between short visits and private homes in the United Arab Emirates. Related to her daughter's employment in the Gulf, although her daily schedule is unclear, people close to her say she is carefully considering her options and closely monitoring press coverage. Timing is the key question. Does she return in silence, reverting to Windsor life and experimenting with little dates, or does she set up a big interview, maybe with a reliable broadcaster, and deal with the emails head-on? She hasn't made a formal statement regarding the contents of the document released thus far. That quiet could be calculated, or it might indicate a lack of clarity regarding the best course of action. We do know, however, that she has no intention of fadding away. She is 66 years old, homeless and struggling financially, but she seems intent on starting over. She's done it before if she is able to. It remains to be seen if it can be repeated under such scrutiny. I'd love to know what you think. Is there too much harm done, in your opinion, or can Sarah Ferguson successfully re-enter the public eye without Andrew? Tell me in the remarks. Additionally, if you're a royal, keep an eye on the news and be sure to subscribe so don't miss the upcoming updates.